Time is now 6:52 on this Wednesday morning, and here's what you need to know before you go.
A major road construction project on a busy Duluth road starts Monday. MnDOT leaders say that's when drivers should expect traffic impacts on London Road. We have a breakdown of the planned lane closures and detours on northernnewsnow.com. Their first set of projects include roundabout construction at 26th Avenue East and utility relocation at 40th Avenue East. Eventually, they'll add a roundabout at 40th Avenue East as well. Work runs until November, pauses for winter, and picks back up next spring. And of course, Grandma's Marathon takes runners right along London Road. Race organizers say they don't expect any construction to have major impacts on the course. They say there may be some small areas to work around, but overall, it will be the same course as always as they celebrate 50 years this June.
A Duluth man has pleaded guilty after another man was found dead in a house fire. 26-year-old Tyler Edwards pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. The deadly fire happened in Duluth's Lakeside neighborhood in July of 2024. Authorities found 25-year-old Maxton Gadowski's body in the apartment's living room. While investigating, the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office found that Gadowski was stabbed multiple times and likely died before the fire started. Firefighters also found accelerant poured around his body. The BCA says a handful of evidence pointed to Edwards' involvement. His motive is still not exactly clear. Edwards' sentencing is planned for June 15th.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court is considering if the public should know about people deemed mentally incapable of voting. Conservative group Wisconsin Voter Alliance wants notices of voting eligibility to be made publicly accessible. The alliance argues making the information public could help stop people from voting if they've been deemed incompetent. But voting rights advocacy groups say this is a violation of privacy. The court will issue a decision sometime in the coming months.
Governor Tony Evers stopped in northern Wisconsin on an Earth Week tour of the state. Yesterday, Evers visited the Fish Creek Restoration site near Ashland. The governor learned about the Burke Center's work to protect and conserve the ecosystem. The project involved rerouting about 500 feet of Fish Creek to reduce the amount of sediment that it sends into Lake Superior. You can watch more about the Fish Creek project by searching the Northern News Now app.